Self awareness versus self obsession, guys. Let's talk about this. Self awareness, what a vital tool, extremely vital tool that it is. Self awareness is necessary to be able to analyze the situation that you are currently in, to be able to get you to the next higher level, let's say, or the next position. It's extremely vital. However, with each pro, there is often a con. And the thing with being so incessantly self aware is oftentimes that can lead into self obsession. And now all of a sudden, this clarity that you're using is being turned into an obsession towards something that isn't aiding you into where you truly need to go. Because now you're just in your head, like, oh, this and this and this, because you're obsessed about it. Okay, let's say you are aware of the fact that you may not be as compatible for relationships as you thought due to the fact that you had some inner tensions that you were working through. Awesome. The thing is, it becomes self obsession when you're fixated on that and you start to beat yourself up for that action. That's when it loses the whole points of being aware of it in the first place. Because now the emotion that's being conjured up every time that you channel that awareness and that thought is one that derails you from feeling your best. Isn't that funny? The power of self awareness. So, there are always two things that you can take and you can gather and you can learn to know if something is self aware and if it starts to turn into self obsession. There's two things that you can do. Look at it, say, is this bringing me security? Even if it's in insecurity, but knowing the insecurity in and of itself can bring you security. So, is it bringing me security for one? That'd be the first thing that you look at. And then secondly, what you look at is, does this bring me clarity? And if both of those answers are yes, then perfect, friend. You are on the right path. That is the proper way to utilize the skill of being self aware. Okay, when does this dabble off into self obsession? Okay, it becomes self obsession when your awareness of the action of the matter, whatever it may be, starts to shift your focus from what is important and you start to become distressed. Now all of a sudden, oh, I know that this is the thing I need to work on, but you're beating yourself up. You're like, oh man, no, because of this, I can't do this. And it actually, in and of itself, starts to become victimizing when you start to self obsess. That, in and of itself, is what it is. Because you're obsessed so much, and there's a way where it can't be fixed in the moment, which is fine. Everything happens when it needs to. The only thing is, because of that, now since you're kind of stuck there and you're just fixated on it still without being able to move forward, okay, now you're starting to kind of dwell on it because the more energy you give it, and the energy doesn't have anywhere to go, it's only there. So that energy, after a certain period, is going to start to become negative energy. And you're going to have negative feelings towards that thing that you are aware of. And so that is when it will become truly distressing and truly detrimental. And the second part, the first one we had as distressing, when it becomes distressing to you. The second part, when it becomes self-obsession, is it's similar track when it starts to impede you from doing the things that you want to do and that you need to do. That's when it starts to become a bit, okay, there's something here that is not working how we need it to work to be at where we need to be. So, how do we go about solving this? The key is, okay, be aware of your gifts. Be aware of the art of being self aware, for one, because it's a talent that not everyone has. We all have different talents, and we need one another's talents to form the team that is needed to keep society and the world running. We need one another. And your talent is self awareness. Awesome. However, that becoming self obsession turns that talent into a detriment. So, what you thought was a talent and what was originally meant to be a talent has now become a curse. And with the curse, you are not able to move forward towards where you need to go. So, guys, I used to do this, and in a way, I'm speaking to myself as well. Where you analyze, let's say, everything. And don't get me wrong, I analyze, let's say, a grand majority of things. But it's an analysis that's a natural part of me, of myself, of how my brain is made up. It's not that I'm intuitively saying when something occurs, okay, let me analyze it. For a period, sure, but now it's like an art and an action of me just being in the present moment. Okay, if I analyze here or this. The thing is, you want to make time. For example, guys, if you journal, excellent. Journaling is the time when you can analyze. Analyze all that you want in the evening. Okay, during the day, just be present. Allow yourself to continue to function and do the things that you were meant to do, because your life in and of itself is that. So everything that has ever occurred in your life has happened exactly as it has needed to. Everything. Even if you repeated the same mistake over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. With that, if you hadn't done it that many times, you wouldn't be here, for example, watching this video. You wouldn't be in the position that you are currently in your life. Maybe it's a terrible position. But ultimately, if you hadn't been in this position that you are in, you wouldn't have had the wherewithal or the willpower or the drive or the want to get to where ultimately you're being called to go. And so with that, we know that you need to utilize your gifts as gifts. Don't utilize your gifts as detriments. Be self-aware. Don't obsess. Be present in the day, just as it is. Okay, you get upset at this point. If you get offended at this point, or you get triggered at this point, or you're excited at this point, you're jubilant at this point, let it happen. Over time, as you analyze at night and you do the things that allow you to ride the curve of growth and of success, these things will start to diminish less and less because you're doing things in an order. You're giving that gift of self-awareness time to live. I don't know about everyone watching this. For myself, guys, I'm someone who is more creative than structured. And I'm let's say I'm still good at structure. I'm still decently structured at the bare minimum. But I thrive in creativity, in writing, in speaking, in things like that, in the gray areas, as we say, right? An engineer typically is someone who lives and thrives in the black and white areas of life. And for example, yourself or myself, who may be more self aware, thrive in the gray areas of life. And we need one another. We need one another to thrive. One is not better than the other. It's just utilize that gift, man. Because being too self aware will keep you stuck. Because then you're so self aware. Then you're scared to take risks. Then you're scared to do the actions. And due to you not taking the actions, your life is going to suffer. And due to you suffering, it's going to affect you and only you. Because even if it affects your families can't ever care about it to the same extent as you. Because your families have their own lives. If you passed away today and I passed away today, even to the people closest to us, sure, it would affect them. But ultimately, they would keep on going. They would find a way. God willing, that was the case. And hypothetically, of course. I don't want this for any of us. The thing is, I cannot care more about you cultivating your gifts than you do. And there's a time to be obsessed, guys. Don't get me wrong. I did an exercise the other day in my friend's class, and we were speaking about, hey, say two, let's say, negatives and two positives. And actually, it ended up being just one negative and two positives. And I spoke with my classmate, and then it came to me, and I was like, okay, I'm looking at my personality things. Okay, what could I say as negatives? And also the thing is, when you've done the requisite time and you've spent time within yourself, you even have difficulty looking at some of your personality things as negatives because you're fond of all of them. Even the things that could be viewed as negative from the peripheral, within you and in your body, you enjoy them. So they're strengths and they're positives to you. Anyhow, with that being said, I sat there. I was like, man, I was thinking about it. What do I say? And I'm like, man, I guess as far as how the world would see it, one that could be viewed as negative from the outside world could be obsession, man. I'm obsessed about providing for my family. I'm obsessed about fulfilling the purpose that God has given me. I'm obsessed about serving the world. And I'm obsessed about doing the best that I can and enjoying life with fulfillment. And that's the area of obsession. Obsession isn't a bad thing at all, man. If you are obsessed with getting your family out of poverty, or you are obsessed with improving your business, taking it to heights and feats that has never accomplished, if you are obsessed with being a better version of yourself, awesome. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. If you are obsessed with self-awareness, tough. It can be a gift. It's just you have to structure it. And that's where we go into the evening sessions of self-awareness, friends. In the evening is when you will truly enjoy that moment to analyze and to see everything in my life. What are the things that are going on? What is it that I feel? What is being conjured up in my life right now? What are the things that I can improve on to get me to where it is that I am being called to go and that I choose to go and that I wish to go? Those are the moments in the evening. It's not during the day when you are in the monotony of, let's say, your life. And monotony is not a bad thing at any stretch. Let's say monotony. I mean, it's just monotony. It's like a neutral thing. Yeah, the monotony of life. I want you to do that, man. That's what I want. And that's what I wish, right? I can't control what you do. And everyone's process is different. Because even let's say you didn't do it after watching this. Let's say you didn't. Okay. I hope that that was for a reason. Maybe you didn't have the necessary emotion, and then something occurs in your life to give you the emotion required to actually put what I'm saying to use. Exactly when it needs to be put to use. Because in your life, in comparison to mine, are different. So in your life, it could be used at a different time. And now you see me. I'm actively practicing the self awareness muscle because it's a gift. We all have different gifts, but this is specifically for my people that are self aware. You can't let it become an obsession because then you will be stuck. You will be completely stuck. You will not be able to get out. You will not be able to do the things that you're being called to do when you're too self aware. And too self aware is from not giving yourself time to be present, to commit errors, to learn. You can be aware and be very aware. Awesome. Because too much of anything typically isn't good. Oh, you're too happy? Well, that often comes with making decisions that you wouldn't have made if you were at a baseline state. You're too sad? Well, that's going to impede you from enjoying the things that are being presented in your life. You're too rich? Well, typically, an area of your life is being severely undermined and pushed to a side. And well, you're too self aware. Well, typically that's going to keep you stuck. And there are exceptions to any rule, guys. Any of the things that I'm saying, of course. Because the goal is, right, if you wish to be rich, I aspire to be rich, we can say, but really wealthy. Awesome. It's just you do, guys, and I'm sure you hear this, right? Where it comes to this about balance and wanting to have balance in your life, work-life balance. As much as I frowned upon it, it's like this. The goal is to have work-life balance, right? But you can't have work-life balance by being balanced. You need to be imbalanced for certain periods of your life. At this period of my life, I'm imbalanced when it comes to work. So that later on I can be imbalanced when it comes to my family and my life, right? And so over time, that extrapolates out to creating a balance throughout a lifetime. So yeah, man. And that's a little sidebar as far as it pertains to this. Self-awareness is key. Self-obsession is not. Self-obsession will keep you in cycles. Self-obsession will impede you from loving yourself. Self-obsession will cause you to see the negatives in you instead of the pros and the strengths. And that is not the answer here. So if you are someone who is journaling and you are someone who is very self-aware, amazing. That's your talent. That's your gift. Create structure for it. Do it only in the evening and give yourself a time period to do it, to reflect and to analyze. Whether that be 20 minutes, awesome, 30, even an hour. But whatever you do within the structure, within the confines, I recommend 10 minutes. Analyze. And go. I don't want you to be trapped. I want you to flourish. And you deserve to flourish. So just do these things so that your life and you can have the best experience and the best life experience as it pertains to your life, because that is what you deserve. Be self aware and don't self obsess.